Well, Colin, welcome to the program, and thanks so much for for joining us. And of course, it's been a busy time, not only on farm, but with all the shenanigans going on with the global warming and, of course, the winter grazing. So, a big meeting last week that you were at the helm of in Southland.
Hi, Mark. Yeah, thanks for that. We're certainly we're really frustrated with this. We had the big meeting in Southland. There was about just under 800 there, and obviously had the climate change stuff, and I was fronting the winter grazing stuff. Really frustrating.
And how do you assess that frustration? What are the farmers saying to you?
A lot of them are sort of a bit bewildered, really. A lot of them have been farming away for all their lives, and even through the generations, undertaking winter grazing. And got to remember what winter grazing is. It's how we can feed our stock through the winter when the grass isn't growing. So it's about this time of the year we get the crops in the ground. And as you know, Mark, New Zealand's not a completely flat country, and we have slopes. And I've just got a demonstration. So this is 10 degrees slope, and if your farmland is over that 10 degrees, you need a resource consent, basically. So, we think it probably includes just about all farmers that undertake winter grazing. We've got our hill country farmers with very cold winters. They need to feed their stock.
Can you hold that up again, Colin? I'd just be interested to see that again. So anything above that needs a consent. Well, that, as you say, would just about cover everything. I mean, every farm would have a slope just about that level, would it not?
It's just a wee bit steeper than the wheelchair ramp, for goodness sake. I don't know. We're just beside ourselves, really. So we're going to go and get these resource consents, through the regional councils. Regional councils are busy anyway. They're just as frustrated with this as well. As I said, the other little bit, Mark, their farmers have actually picked up the game, and they're doing a whole lot better than they have been in the last 3 or 4 years ago. So I'm saying that our farmers have jumped ahead of the regulations. And the regulations, the law needs to just recognise that a little bit and give us a bit of time.
The interesting thing, of course, is the greatest deterrent to winter grazing and having cows knee-deep in mud is a photograph that comes into the local press, and the farmer's embarrassed by that. So that has seemingly stopped, made farmers really sit up a few years ago and really take notice and say, we've got to be better.
Yeah, no question about it. And the practice is absolutely terrible, and I don't think we don't condone that practice at all, but peer pressure within ourselves is a pretty significant driver with this too. We don't want to let our mates down by having poor practice. We've got animal welfare issues. We don't want to allow that to become an issue as well. So.
Now, the other thing at your meeting, of course, we had Bernadette Hunt on yesterday talking about the fact that she plucked up her courage and said, look, I'm not going to get a consent, and a whole bunch of people joined her in that, which is it's a solidarity, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right, Mark. We're not condoning anybody breaking the law, but it puts farmers in a very difficult position. Look, for me to get a resource consent, I got a notification from the regional council. It's a 34-page document that we have to fill out, and we've got to pay a deposit. I don't know what the cost will be. And there's let alone our own time filling it all out. So that comes at a significant cost. We're saying it's $20 million plus across the country. Essentially, it's sort of like a tick boxing exercise. But what we really want is this farm planning process. This is where we have expert advice. Coming on farm and working out a bit of a plan how we're going to manage the winter grazing through the winter period. So we've already got these in existence. We've got our industry groups like Dairy NZ and Beef and Lamb have got these documents for us. Some of our suppliers, supplying companies like the meat companies and the milk companies have got these documents in place. We just need to have that turned on by the government. They seem to want to use their own official ones from central government. That seems to be the big overreach from government on this. And it seems to be they want belts and braces from day one on this. Instead of giving us a transition period, it's not going to be belts, as I said, not belts and braces on day one, but gradually work towards a lot more of a rigorous regime.